science fans, and welcome to SHE-ensya. Our topic for today is the science behind tree planting. As promised in our previous videos, we are now going to talk about things that you can do to help the environment. And probably, if you ask anyone, tree planting is one of those top initiatives side by side with recycling and conserving water. However, as an environmental movement, tree planting is not foolproof. In this video, we will be discussing the benefits and failures of tree planting initiatives here in the Philippines. In the recent World Economic Forum this 2020, a global initiative has been launched to restore, conserve, and protect 1 trillion trees all over the globe to help protect biodiversity and help fight back against the changes that we are experiencing due to climate change. But why are trees so important anyway? Well, for one, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process done by plants to create carbohydrates in food. It makes use of energy from the sun and carbon dioxide in the air to create starch and oxygen as a byproduct. Lesser known is the fact that trees also produce carbon dioxide during the process of respiration, where starch is converted into a form of energy that is useful for the cell. Also, trees in flooded forests stimulate the production of methane in the waterlogged soil. It seems that the 3 trillion trees that are present on the planet right now also produce methane consistently, which is also another greenhouse gas. After water vapor and carbon dioxide, methane is the most important greenhouse gas. In fact, molecule for molecule, it is a much more potent planet warmer than carbon dioxide. You might be surprised to know that the total carbon footprint, or yes, total greenhouse gas emissions of forests reach more than 65 million tons annually. This information isn't even new. Ronald Reagan was worried during the 1980s that trees were emitting more pollution than automobiles. You heard that right. Trees actually generate pollution. As shocking as this might sound, why wasn't this taught in school? Should we just cut all the forests down? But before you spiral off into conspiracy theories, it just so happens that the more you know about certain things, the more complicated things become. So let's go make things more complicated. Considering the history of the Philippines, some of you might not be surprised that some, maybe a lot, of the tree planting efforts in our country are actually misguided. Some species of trees are actually better at restoring nature simply because they originally made up the forest when it still existed. But a lot of the Philippine tree planting efforts have used exotic species instead of local ones. In the National Greening Program that ended in 2016, out of the 30 million trees planted by 2011, 25 million were actually exotic species. Mahogany was one of these exotic species that the Philippines continued planting. And this is a particularly insidious species because it transforms the soil acidity in such that itself, and only itself, will survive. Mahogany chokes out other plants. The natural flora of helpful bacteria in the soil also starts to disappear. The insects end up missing, turning most man-made mahogany forests in the Philippines as close to a biological dead zone as you're gonna get, no matter how pretty these forests are. We've also had tree planting problems along our coastlines. There are about 35 mangrove species in the Philippines. Based on the tidal zone, there are mangrove plants like the pagatpat or Soneracia alba that grow well in sandy soil closest to the seawater. And there are species like the bungalon, Avicennia marina, and the bakawan or Rhizophora that thrive better in muddy soil and a little farther away from the sea. Planting the wrong species of mangrove is both useless and wasteful. The planting of bungalon in sandy soil very close to the water has resulted to the transplanted seedlings having a very low survival rate. We've also seen cases where a heavy infestation of barnacles and filamentous algae ended up smothering the plants. What a nightmare, right? But should we still plant trees? Yes, and here's why. At the moment, we only have 3% of what used to be the original forest cover of the Philippines. This means less sources of oxygen, less habitat for our animals, and less of the natural resources we get from forests. The lack of forests is also resulting to massive erosion, and this causes nutrients to be removed from the soil because the topsoil is gone. Due to deforestation, at least 50% of the topsoil has been lost in most regions in the Philippines, causing much lower crop yields and higher food insecurity. Considering that trees also emit their own version of pollution, we actually have to plant more trees in order to offset the pollution that they create. Currently, it is approximated that each person in the world need to plant at least 50 trees during their lifetime so that we can reabsorb all of the greenhouse gases that we have created in excess of what is needed by the planet. Considering the growth rate of trees that takes 10 to 20 years before they reach full maturity, removing major sources of greenhouse gases could still have a quicker effect on global temperatures than trying to reabsorb them through trees. Joining a tree planting initiative can make us feel good because we think we've helped the planet somewhat. But before you pat yourself in the back, please make sure that what you're planting is a native species to that area, and also for you to remind other people, such as your brother, your sister, your father, and so on and so forth, that they too have to plant trees. Remember, 50 trees per person for everybody in the planet right now. And apart from that, you still have to reduce your carbon footprint. Thank you for watching this short video about tree planting and some of the errors we've made about it. Here at SHE-ensya, we are passionate about debunking alternative facts, so I hope that you can share this video to your friends so that they can learn more about how to take care of the environment, and also so that they're not fooled by some of the misinformation present in the internet these days. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to contact me, your resident Filipina scientist, in the comments section below. Thank you very much, and see you around!